What's going on, everyone? In today's video, I'm going to be giving you the 3 email mistakes costing your brand money. So before we get into the video, I just want to quickly introduce myself. My name is Noah Franco. I'm the founder at Elite Copy, and I've been doing e-commerce email marketing for about the past 2 years or so. And in that time, I've been able to work with quite a few 6 and 7 figure brands, as well as having previous in-house agency experience. So I worked as a copywriter for a pretty well-known agency that you guys would probably know if I name. So kind of jumping further into the video, who this is for. So if you run an e-commerce brand and you're not seeing results from email, you're probably making one or more of these 3 expensive mistakes. So this video is for you if you're running email campaigns but barely breaking even, you're planning to start email marketing and want to avoid the typical landmines that I commonly see in most brands. You're already investing time and money into email, but results are like crickets, you're not really getting anything, then this is going to be for you. So I've audited dozens of 6 and 7 figure brands, and here's what I can tell you. Almost over half of them are leaving thousands of dollars on the table every single month, and it's just from email alone. We're not even talking about other things. We're just talking about email optimizations. And the worst part about this is founders often don't know because they're focused on acquiring talent for other things as well as growing the business even further. So here's what we're about to uncover and fix so your email channel starts printing cash. So right now you've got invisible bottlenecks choking your email ROI, and to be fair, it's not really your fault. You know, most brands make these mistakes because they've never even been shown a better way. So we're going to break down the 3 most common and costly mistakes I see ecom brands make, and more importantly, show you how to fix them. Not a lot of people tell you how to fix them, so I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you exactly how you can do it. So mistake number 1 is going to be blasting your whole list like it's 2012. I mean, if you're treating your entire audience the same and it's killing your deliverability and conversions. So the issue with this, which we will get a bit further, is it just ultimately affects deliverability. And you'll see poor performance. You'll think email isn't working when in reality it maybe is working better than you think. Ultimately, we'll get further into why you should fix these issues. So mistake number 2 is missing the 15 to 20% revenue that's sitting in just automation. So if you don't have these automated flows dialed in, you're bleeding money every single day. Automation is the key for any brand. If you're sending email campaigns, but you don't have the correct automation set up, it's almost like a leaky bucket analogy. You're pouring water into a bucket that has holes in it. So is it really doing any good? Probably not. Or mistake 3, prioritizing pretty over profitable. So your emails might look good, but if they don't convert, they're just considered digital art, right? It's pretty simple, right? If you're making pretty emails, but obviously they're not converting, you have bigger issues than to worrying about the design. Pretty much getting into problem number 1 right away is going to be mass sending emails to your entire list. Mass sending emails to your whole list is the fastest way to destroy your deliverability. It's going to wreck your data and kill your cash flow all at the same time. So email service providers like Gmail and Yahoo are cracking down, especially in 2025. And I almost guarantee with all this AI stuff that's coming out, they're going to crack down even harder. So if you're sending emails to people who don't open, don't engage, or in this case, don't even have active inboxes still, you're sending a giant red flag to the algorithm that's pretty much saying, hey, I'm spam, my emails aren't being delivered, people are reporting my emails, etc. And then what happens from there is your emails go straight to the promotions tab, or worse, the spam folder. And kind of, if you haven't heard this before, once you're in the spam folder, it takes a decent amount of work to actually get out of the spam folder. It's not just something overnight that you can fix and you're already in the primary inbox. It's an actual process that you have to follow step by step and very, very closely. So with that being said, in this case, even your warmest audience never sees your messages. So why this happens? Number 1, you're getting low open rates. So if less than 40 to 50% of your audience opens, your sender reputation is going to tank because again, it's going to show in the eyes of Google and Yahoo and Outlook that, hey, this brand, their emails aren't being opened, so something's off here. The second thing why it's going to cause bad deliverability is because of the high bounce rate. So old inactive emails trigger ESPs to label you as low quality, right? So if your emails are bouncing all over the place, right? Your emails just actually aren't getting delivered to your audience. Again, it's going to label you as low quality because of that high bounce rate. And the last thing is going to be garbage data. So when everyone gets the same email, you can't see what's working or really who it's working for. And what I mean by this is that if you're sending it to the mass list, right, your newsletter list in its entirety, you won't know if you're actually engaged people, if it's post-purchase people, who is actually engaging with your email and what the messaging is for. So what this is going to do is ultimately skew the data to show that you're only getting about 20% open rates, but you're really sending to 10,000 people, which is about 2,000 opens. However, if those are only engaged people, and let's say you had 2,500 out of your engaged list, it would show something like a 75% open rate, which is the data we're actually trying to achieve and can actually find useful so that we can adjust our strategies later on down the line. With the garbage data, we're not going to be able to adjust strategies because, again, it's going to be showing that, hey, email marketing isn't working for your brand. You're only getting 20% opens, but in this case, it's just your sending is off. So how to fix problem number one? Pretty much to fix this problem, we need to be tighter with our sending. So you're going to want to send to people who are already engaging with your brand. They're opening, clicking, they're on your site, they've seen you recently, and that means they're way more likely to buy. They're most likely top of mind still. So compare that to someone who signed up 2 years ago and hasn't opened an email since. Truthfully, they're just not going to convert, right? I mean, there's no chance that it's going to happen. So what we want to do is send campaigns 2 to 4 times per week to these segments listed. So number one is going to be your 30-day engage. These are your hottest traffic. You're going to get the most opens here. And it's high intent buyers, right? These people have engaged with your brand in the last 30 days. You're going to want to send to 45-day engage. So these are still warm, but here's where you want to test carefully. Most brands here, they still have some pretty hot traffic. Then day 60, you're on the edge. So only send if your open rates are above 45% with this segment. So if you send a 60-day engaged and you're seeing, hey, only 35% of people are opening our email, I'd recommend cutting back and not sending as much to 60-day engaged because, again, we don't want to tank our deliverability with low opens. So what I would do to increase the amount of people who are engaging with our brand out of here and put them into here is I would just focus on sending one campaign to them to 60-day engaged every so often. Rule of thumb, if your open rate is consistently above 60%, expand your reach, try the 90-day segment. If it drops below 40%, pull back and tighten your targeting. So if we're getting 60% open rates on our 30-day, we're going to want to start sending the 45-day engaged so we can expand our reach. If we see, our 45-day engaged is doing 60% open rates, then we can go ahead and push 60-day engaged, right? And so forth. If 60 days seeing 60% open rates, we can push to 90 days and try that out. But the whole goal is that we want to expand the reach as much as we can with our campaigns. And then obviously protect deliverability like your business depends on it, because honestly, it quite literally does. If you can be sending the best emails, but if they're not being delivered, it doesn't mean shit, right? So problem number two, missing key automations. When a brand isn't pulling email revenue, the first thing I check is the automations always. The reason for that is because you could cut down campaign frequency to about two campaigns a week, right? Even if you don't want to do the 4 campaigns, you can cut down to about 2 campaigns a week and still print money if your automations are doing their job the way they should be. But the thing I see with most brands is that they fall into one of these 2 traps. So number one, automation exists, but the emails just suck. And what I mean by this is that most brands are treating automation like a glorified reminder. Hey, you left something behind. And the problem with this is that, sure, it may sound cute, but it's not what's going to bring in the cash. These emails are doing zero objection handling. They don't answer questions. They don't build trust, and they don't give a damn reason for people to come back and buy. So it's like proposing on the first date and wondering why they ghosted. They never even knew anything about you. They didn't know why they should marry you. They probably know your favorite color, and that's that. So obviously, again, these emails do zero objection handling. Then trap number 2 that I commonly see is that brands have no automations at all. Now, I'm not talking about complete zero cold turkey automations. I mean, they just are missing a few key automations that are the most important. So if you don't have any flow set up, you're straight up lighting money on fire. And what you're spending on ads, getting people to your site, maybe even capturing emails, then what? You're doing no nurturing, and essentially because of that, you're bringing in absolutely no sales. So that's not just a missed opportunity, but it's a broken system. And the crazy part, most people don't bounce after one page, they browse, right? So the chances of someone coming onto your site and just looking at the front page and being like, okay, I'm going to leave is very rare. I mean, I know when I shop, I go around, I look at a couple products, and that is where we need our automations to be firing at that moment. So they're going to explore, they're going to consider, and your job is to use that digital footprint to push them to that next logical step, add to cart, complete checkout, and buy again. So here's exactly how you would fix problem number two. So fixing this isn't just about having automations, it's about building the right ones, like I said previously, and filling them with emails that are relevant to where your customer is in the buying cycle. So most brands, again, just slap together a generic, hey, you left something behind email, and they call it a day. But truthfully, that's not how you're going to get someone to buy or feel comfortable with your brand. You need to meet your prospects where they are and give them exactly what they need to move forward, right? So here's what every single email that I've built out includes and what you should put inside of yours for flows. So we want to make sure that essentially every email we're focusing on has one of these things. So it needs to either handle objections such as price, trust, timing, drop social proof, reviews, UGC, success stories, highlight your product's unique advantage. So your unique selling points, what makes your brand, why should I choose your brand in this case? Answer common questions preemptively. A good way here, a little tip, is that you can actually answer questions using customer reviews. So that's something that we've seen increase with a few of our clients as well. Then justify the price, right? What are the benefits of the products? Do you have any guarantees? Maybe a 30-day money back guarantee, a 90-day money back guarantee, things like that. Justify the price. Why should they find value in your product? Maybe you increase, maybe you help them level their blood sugar or whatever it is, right? But the point is justify the price. The core automations that every brand needs. If you don't have these, you're leaving cash on the table, is going to be your welcome flow, because that's going to convert leads into first time buyers. Your browse abandonment, which is going to re-engage people who were just window shopping, again, like I mentioned previously. Cart abandonment, which handles objections and gets the add to cart crew across the line. You're going to want to set up a checkout abandonment flow. So they were truly this close. Now you need to get that placed order, right? They were at that last step. They put their credit card information, but for some reason they didn't hit that complete my purchase button. And then post-purchase flow, so turns customers into loyal repeat buyers. One of my clients is seeing a very, very high return on this flow specifically, and all it is just a plain text from the founder being sincere. Now, this brand is in the skincare niche, but we're seeing quite a bit of repeat purchases like that come in with this flow, and just that email in general. So bonus automations that can take you to the next level is going to be the replenishment flow. So this is mainly for consumables. I mean, this brings back customers on autopilot. So if you know, hey, we give 30 pouches of electrolyte mixes, we can hit them back in about 45 days, because that's how long we've seen customers come back and buy. So it takes 45 days. So after 45 days, when someone places an order, they'll get a sequence of emails saying, hey, running low, here's why you should buy again. And then obviously if they haven't purchased, you can just hit them with like a discount or something to get them across the line again. So then the sunset flow cleans dead weight to protect your deliverability. This will automatically save you money as well by suppressing profiles inside of Klaviyo. So now your list looks like it's smaller, but these are active profiles that will actively be making you money as well. And then problem number three. So using designs that look nice but convert poorly. So most brands obsess over making their emails look pretty, but here's going to be the exact hard truth. You don't get paid for design, you get paid for clicks. And truly, if I'm being honest, the biggest reason why I see emails underperform is because they're structured like art projects and they're not really conversion focused. So let me break down exactly what that can be killing your click-through rates. So one lonely CTA buried at the bottom of the email. So you may have a header, subheader, body copy, hero image, and then all the way at the bottom of the email, all the way at the bottom, you have one CTA that says shop now. That's just not enough to get people to buy. You need to break it up into sections. Now, the next one sounds a little controversial, but too many CTAs. So you're pulling attention in 5 different directions. What I mean by this is you want to keep your CTA consistent on the topic of the email. So if you're sending people to shop a product, you're going to want to focus on that product specifically. Don't have them shop a product, read a blog, watch an Instagram post, do all this kind of things because you're pushing them in 5 different directions. And if you give people too many options, they end up choosing none. And a good analogy of this is, why do you think when you go to a restaurant, sometimes it's a bit harder to pick off the menu right away because you want to see all your options, and sometimes it's very hard and confusing. You don't know what to get and you don't want to be wrong. So the third thing I see is no product categories or visual hierarchy. So nothing for scanners to latch onto. With our, attention economy that we're in nowadays, people, again, I've said this in the past, have TikTok brains. So we should be using more things like visual hierarchy, infographics to explain our stuff rather than long pieces of copy. Now, of course, if you are a supplement brand or some sort of skincare brand, long copy can work really well because, sure, you have to focus on pain points and then sell the benefit of fixing that pain point, etc. But the main thing that happens here is that people don't click. And if they don't click, they don't visit your site. And if they don't visit your site, they're sure as hell not going to buy from you. So low clicks equal low traffic, and low traffic is equaling low revenue. And guess what? It also trains inbox providers to deprioritize your emails, tanking your deliverability in the long term. So once again, pretty does not equal profitable, and this mistake costs brands thousands every single month. This is how you're going to fix problem number 3. So to turn emails into revenue generating machines, you need to follow this simple structure. One email equals one job. It has one job. There's nothing else. You're not trying to push people to a blog, to shop your product, to read an Instagram post, right? You want to keep the focus tight. One topic, one CTA, and do not confuse the reader and guide them into the action that you want them to take. Repeat your CTA strategically. So your CTA should show up multiple times in the exact way throughout the email. Different people click at different points, so make it easy, right? Sometimes your subheader isn't enough to make people click that first call to action. Maybe they want to scroll to the body copy, read a bit of the body copy, and then click a call to action. But if there isn't one under the body copy, you're going to miss the chance. So nail the first impression above the fold. That means your header, subheader, and call to action should do 80% of the lifting. If someone doesn't scroll, they should still want to click. So you want to make sure that every section sells. Each part of your email should pull the reader forward, and every section should include a CTA that supports the main goal. Luckily for you guys, I do have something that you can use to actually fix problem number 3, which is going to be my 85 plus e-commerce email design templates. So they're completely plug and play. You just have to put your brand colors, change the text. But other than that, it's a really, really good thing if you're struggling to come up with email design ideas and specifically how to structure them to convert. All you have to do is pick one hero section, one bridge section, and one product section, slap an email together, and you're done. Takes no more than 10 minutes. So if you want those, it'll be the first link in the description below. Now, really quick, if your email revenue is underperforming and isn't driving at least 30 to 50% of your revenue, you're leaking money daily. So I want to go ahead and fix that. I'll get on a quick 15-minute call with you, no pitch, no fluff, and here's exactly what you're going to walk away with. So you'll get a breakdown of where your current email setup is losing revenue, exactly what I'd fix, even if we don't end up working together, and a clear action plan to boost your email performance immediately. So this is the same framework we use to grow one's brand email revenue from 7% to 62% in just 45 days. So the spots are limited, and I do just a few of these each month. So if you're doing 50K a month or more and ready to scale your email the right way, go ahead and book a free audit call. This should be the second link in the description below. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment below if you want to see anything e-commerce email marketing, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.